The sunny sky over the noisy city is filled with the sounds of honking traffic. Buses and cars rush through the crowded downtown streets during a busy morning commute. Leo stands among a crowd of pedestrians at a crosswalk, staring down at his phone. The walk light turns green, signaling the large crowd of people to cross the street. Leo receives impatient text messages from his friend waiting for him at a local gaming center. He texts back that he is on his way while following the crowd across the street. Distracted by his phone, Leo accidentally bumps shoulder into another guy walking past. Leo quickly apologizes and keeps moving through the busy, crowded sidewalk. Annoyed by the noisy crowd, Leo walks forward with his head down in frustration. Leo sighs heavily and wishes he could live in a quiet world without any humans. Suddenly, a loud boom shakes the entire street and shocks everyone nearby. Confused and alarmed, Leo and the people around him turn back to see what happened. A strange beam of light cuts through the dark storm clouds high above the city. The glowing flash strikes straight down right next to the giant glass skyscrapers. Leo and the surrounding crowd stare up at the sky in complete disbelief. Suddenly, a massive explosion erupts right in the middle of the crowded street. Cars crash and fly into the air while panicked people scramble to escape. More bolts of mysterious light slam directly into the roofs of nearby buildings. Giant skyscrapers begin to shake violently as the strange event spreads everywhere. The top of a high-rise building shatters outward with a loud rumble. Heavy concrete debris rains down on the street while fleeing pedestrians scream. Crushed vehicles block the roads as helpless survivors try to rescue each other. Dozens of bright yellow light beams shower down from the darkening sky. The mysterious beam shower covers the entire sky, creating complete chaos in the city. Massive explosions smash into city buildings as fiery beams continue raining down from above. Giant blasts of energy tear through the metropolis, turning the entire area into complete ruin. Leo ducks under falling concrete, while desperate survivors try to escape the sudden disaster. People sprint down the road in absolute terror as rocks shatter the pavement all around. A terrified woman shouts for help while running out from a crumbling underground station. Leo tries to reach out in shock as panicking crowds blindly push past each other. An ambulance suddenly crashes in the middle of the road, adding to the total chaos. Leo runs for his life, desperately hoping that this tragic nightmare is just a dream. Suddenly, Leo looks up in terror as a brilliant flash startles him completely. A giant truck looms directly in front of him under a blinding flash of light. Leo squeezes his eyes shut tight as the mysterious bright energy completely surrounds him. He opens his eyes in total shock as the intense glow swallows up his vision. Leo screams in panic as the blinding light spins him uncontrollably through space. A strange golden beam shoots down from the dark, starry night sky. The mysterious light descends rapidly toward an unfamiliar world below. Leo suddenly wakes up naked on the grass, panting heavily in sheer shock. He hears loud screeching sounds echoing through the air above him. Confused and disoriented, Leo tilts his head up toward the dark sky. Monstrous winged creatures fly across two giant moons glowing brightly above. Leo panics in disbelief as he realizes he has been transported somewhere entirely new. He lies exposed on the dense forest floor while strange animal howls fill the night. Deep, dangerous growls echo from the thick, ancient trees surrounding him. Heavy thuds shake the ground nearby, signaling a massive creature approaching. Sweating profusely, Leo grits his teeth and braces himself for danger. Leo hears heavy, thudding footsteps stomping closer and closer to him. A gigantic, furious bear monster suddenly appears right above him. The monster opens its massive jaws, revealing terrifying sharp teeth and drool. It lets out a deafening roar that shakes the entire dark forest. Suddenly, a vicious pack of wolves leaps out and attacks the giant bear. Leo watches in sheer terror as the monsters tear into each other. Deep, terrifying growls fill the night air as the brutal fight continues. Later on, Dr. Mark sits in a clinic writing on his clipboard. Dr. Mark listens carefully as Leo explains his crazy story about two moons. Leo looks down in frustration, knowing his story sounds completely insane to others. Dr. Mark scribbles on the medical chart, suspecting Leo is just delusional. But Leo vividly remembers every bloody detail of the terrifying monster battle. The giant white wolf bites viciously into the brown bear's neck, spilling blood everywhere. The giant bear swipes its massive claw as it tries to fight back against the lethal blow. With a loud crash, the mighty bear collapses onto the ground, completely defeated. The rest of the hungry wolf pack charges forward to join their victorious leader. The ferocious wolves swarm the fallen bear and instantly begin tearing its body to pieces. Leo watches in total horror from behind a rock while the beasts violently devour their prey. Suddenly, one of the wild wolves wanders over and stops right near Leo's hiding spot. The wolf turns its head and stares directly at Leo with bright, intense eyes. Leo shakes violently with fear, knowing he has been spotted by the dangerous predator. Panic strikes him completely as he realizes he needs to escape immediately to survive. Without wasting a second, Leo pushes off the ground and bolts at top speed. He sprints wildly through the dense forest, panting heavily as he tries to outrun the pack. As night begins to fall over the forest, Leo keeps running desperately. He sprints frantically through the woods, trying to escape the dangerous wolf pack. Sweat pours down his face as he breathes heavily from intense exertion. Suddenly, a system notification announces that his stamina stat has increased by 1. Leo stares in complete shock, surprised to see a game-like status update. Distracted by the strange message, he loses focus on the rugged trail ahead. His bare foot unexpectedly trips over a sharp rock in his path. Leo loses his balance and tumbles head over heels down a steep hill. He crashes violently into a dense patch of vines and bushes at the bottom. Lying on the ground, Leo suddenly catches the sound of strange noises nearby. Exhausted and battered, he wonders if his tired mind is playing tricks on him. He freezes in shock as he senses something terrifying right in front of him. Leo looks at a patch of bright red fruit growing deep in the tall grass. The juicy red fruit hangs on thin vines across the field. More ripe berries lie scattered along the stems on the ground. Leo feels completely starved and wonders if the strange fruit is safe to eat. A swarm of black ants freely eats away at one of the fallen fruits. Seeing the insects feast, Leo realizes the fruit must be safe to eat. He quickly kneels down and begins devouring the fruit hungrily. Mid-bite, Leo suddenly freezes as a strange noise catches his attention. The surrounding forest goes quiet as something hidden moves nearby. A creepy slithering sound echoes through the tall grass surrounding him. The dense grass rustles loudly as an unseen creature creeps closer. Leo freezes in silent horror, realizing a new threat is right upon him. A giant snake with a glowing orange eye creeps through the tall grass. Leo freezes in total terror with the fruit still pressed against his mouth. Suddenly, a massive blue snake swoops out from the thick bushes. The giant serpent dives down with its sharp fangs wide open. Leo gapes in utter shock as the monster strikes right above him. The blue snake violently bites down on a huge red lizard monster. The giant serpent wrestles its bloody prey directly over Leo's head. The heavy struggle crashes down nearby, splashing water and mud everywhere. Leo stands completely frozen in fear as the dying beast groans. His body finally gives out from the sheer strain and horror. Overcome by terror, Leo faints backward and plops onto the ground. A heavy rain shower begins to fall over the dense forest. Raindrops gather on the lush green leaves high up in the dark trees. A single drop of fresh rainwater trickles down from the leaf tip. The water drips directly into Leo's open mouth to quench his thirst. Resting safely on a thick branch, Leo gulps down the cool rainwater. Angry growls echo from the forest floor directly beneath his tree perch. Looking down, Leo sees 3 hungry wolves prowling around the tree trunk. Leo opens his eyes lazily, remaining completely unbothered by the wild beasts. He stays high above the ground, patiently waiting out the day in safety. As night settles over the forest, a massive moon lights up the sky. Looking closely, Leo realizes 2 moons are glowing together in the dark sky. The next day, Leo climbs high into the canopy to harvest giant bananas. He's up in the safety of the branches. Leo happily chews on the sweet fruit. Sticky fruit juice drips down his bare back as he continues chomping away hungrily. Suddenly, Leo pauses mid-bite as he feels an unexpected sensation inside his body. His eyes widen in sharp concern as he realizes something is going wrong. His stomach begins to glow and ache intensely from eating the strange alien fruit. A giant black gorilla roars fiercely as it lunges through the thick jungle branches. The furious ape aggressively beats its heavy fists against its chest to assert dominance. It lets out a terrifying snarl, baring its sharp teeth and dripping thick drool. High in the tree, Leo winces in pain as his stomach burns from the alien fruit. The heavy gorilla slams down hard onto the tree branch with immense force. The branch suddenly snaps, sending the gorilla falling while Leo holds onto a vine. Leo gasps in dismay as he accidentally loses his grip and drops the giant banana. The massive ape tumbles screaming through the air toward the forest floor far below. It crashes violently into the ground with a powerful, earth-shaking thud. The startled white wolf quickly slides across the dirt to dodge the falling giant gorilla. Leo looks down in total surprise as he witnesses the chaos happening underneath him. The gorilla's giant hand hits the earth with a heavy thump, stirring up dust. The angry giant gorilla quickly recovers from its fall and growls on the ground. It glares ahead with rage, showing off its razor-sharp teeth. The huge beast roars loudly and strikes down at the white wolf. It slams its giant fist into the earth, shaking the ground. Mark rolls out of the way just in time, stumbling across the dirt. Taking advantage of the distraction, Leo leaps down from high above. He stabs his sharp dagger straight into the gorilla's eye. The monster screams in agonizing pain as blood bursts out. However, the enraged beast manages to grab Leo in its thick hands. It violently throws Leo across the field, bouncing him along the hard ground. Leo crashes straight into a large tree while Mark rushes over to help. Sore and catching his breath, Leo pushes himself back up to keep fighting. The furious gorilla charges forward in a total rage to attack Leo. Exhausted and bleeding, Leo rests against a tree, wondering why he was so reckless. He remembers a doctor staring at him with a completely shocked look. The doctor stood speechless, amazed by Leo's crazy behavior. Back then, Leo just smirked with a wild smile on his face. The giant gorilla stomps closer, ready to crush Leo against the tree. A giant monster hand slams down on the ground right next to an injured wolf pup. The fierce wolf pack charges forward together to protect their injured young member. Under the glowing twin moons, a tough new chapter begins in this wild alien world. The wolf pack sprints along a high cliff ridge beneath the dark night sky. They run at full speed, racing across the dangerous terrain without stopping. Leo leaps forward and runs side by side with his loyal white wolf companion. Breathing heavily from fatigue, Leo pauses on one knee to catch his breath. Refusing to give up, Leo pushes his body and continues sprinting alongside the pack. Leo gently scoops up the injured pup to carry it safely while running. Leo and the entire wolf pack charge forward together with fierce determination. A lone wolf howls at the giant moon, declaring their strength as a pack. The wolf pack raises their heads and howls together into the night sky. Leo throws back his head and howls right alongside his loyal wolf family. Leo leaps fearlessly down a giant cliff, descending quickly into the jungle below. He slides smoothly along the cliff face, using incredible skill and balance. Leo dives straight toward a giant serpent monster with his sharp blade drawn. The giant snake opens its massive jaws wide to swallow its attacker whole. Leo grips his blade tightly with both hands as he lunges forward. He slashes deep into the huge snake while his wolves bite into its body. The pack swarms together to hunt down a massive wild boar in the forest. Leo rides right alongside his wolves as they effortlessly defeat their prey together. He grabs a thick green vine and swings freely through the sunlit trees. Leo soars high through the canopy, thriving as a true master of the wilderness. Leo leaps down with his blade as his wolf pack drives a giant boar into an ambush. He plunges his knife deep into the beast's head, crushing it in a shower of blood. A flock of birds scatters across the peaceful sky above the wild world. Leo looks out over the horizon, knowing he has been stranded alone for over a century. Weighted down by deep sorrow, Leo kneels in tears while his loyal pack howls beside him. He sits quietly on the edge of a cliff, staring down at his blood-stained weapon. Back in the hospital, the doctor asks Leo how he managed to escape that dangerous world. Leo remembers the massive, earth-shaking war that broke out between two giant beast factions. His fierce wolf pack charges full speed into the open field with blood-curdling howls. An army of massive, enraged gorillas roars loudly and rushes forward to clash with them. Leo dashes alongside his wolf pack, leading the charge directly into the chaotic battle. The huge gorillas viciously strike the charging wolves as both monster armies collide violently. Leo charges forward through the wild battlefield with his heavy blade ready for battle. He leaps forcefully off the ground to launch himself high into the air. Leo swings his sword down at the gigantic gorilla monster roaring directly below him. A sudden bright flash illuminates the sky right before he delivers his final strike. In midair, Leo gasps in shock as something totally unexpected catches his attention. His eyes open wide as a mysterious blinding energy begins to surround him. Leo cries out in shock as the strange magic power starts pulling him away. The giant ape roars in anger as Leo completely vanishes right before its eyes. A massive pillar of light erupts over the fight between the wolves and apes. Below, the remaining beasts stop fighting and watch the glowing energy fade away. Leo loses grip of his weapon as the force transports him across dimensional space. His sharp blade spins away, marking the sudden end of his long war. Meanwhile, in a quiet ruined city, a strange energy hangs over the empty streets. A patrol team walks through an alley as their radar device suddenly begins to beep. They carefully follow the mysterious signal as it grows louder with every step. A blonde swordswoman named Sarah checks her radar unit in complete shock. She readies herself for immediate trouble as the warning signal intensifies. The device screen displays wild energy waves surging far beyond normal limits. Sarah shouts to her teammates that the energy levels are completely off the charts. Mark commands the technician to contact headquarters and report the emergency immediately. The technician rapidly taps his phone screen to send their location to management. Suddenly, a massive pillar of blinding pink light erupts right before their eyes. A powerful explosion detonates, filling the narrow alleyway with intense energy. Mark falls onto the ground in shock while debris flies everywhere around them. The terrified worker cowers in fear, screaming that he does not want to die. Sarah grips her sword handle and gets ready to fight whatever comes out. She shouts loudly at the men to run away and find safety immediately. Mark scrambles away on the ground while calling emergency backup over his radio. Sarah stands alone facing the fiery blast of energy with her blade ready. She vows to slice down any dangerous monster that steps out of the blast. A muscular silhouette slowly begins to form inside the center of the bright light. Sarah stares in absolute disbelief as she senses an incredible aura of power. The mysterious figure stands inside the glare with a glowing light in his eyes. Sarah is stunned to discover that the emerging threat is actually a human being. His massive energy surges outward, surrounding the area with incredible force. Sarah stares ahead in total shock, overwhelmed by the insane power before her. She struggles to stay standing as the crushing force pushes against her body. Lightning crackles wildly around a huge sphere of red energy bursting from the portal. Sarah digs her feet into the ground to hold her stance against the wind. Leo's eyes flare with bright light as he roars with incredible fury. His terrifying voice continues to echo, radiating an intense pressure everywhere. Sarah watches wide-eyed and terrified, stunned by the sheer magnitude of his strength. She remains completely paralyzed, unable to fight back against his overwhelming presence. Sarah forces herself to move, but her hands tremble uncontrollably on her sword. Suddenly, Leo loses his strength and collapses onto the cracked ground. Sarah watches in surprise as the overwhelming pressure completely disappears. Leo lies completely unconscious in front of Sarah as the dust settles down. Security guards quickly rush toward the area to investigate the disturbance. Sarah steps forward as the guard squad arrives at the scene. Leo lies motionless on the floor, sleeping soundly after returning to Earth. Sarah stares down in amazement, realizing a lost returee has finally returned. The guards call for an ambulance to take the unconscious man away. At the hospital, a doctor turns on a voice recorder in front of Leo. The doctor smiles warmly as he prepares to ask Leo a few questions. Leo sits in his hospital bed, ready to share his unbelievable story. Leo sits quietly on his hospital bed, his intense power finally fading away. Dr. Evans enters the room to check on his most mysterious patient. Leo looks up, appearing much more relaxed than he was before. Dr. Evans smiles, ready to start recording Leo's incredible life story. Leo stares back with a calm, focused look in his eyes. The hospital room door clicks shut, ensuring their conversation remains private. Dr. Evans reflects on how Leo has become such a legendary figure. Meanwhile, at the returnee control department, the office is busy. Sarah enters the office of her boss, Mr. Henderson, holding an item. Mr. Henderson looks up from his desk, surprised by Sarah's sudden arrival. Sarah shows him a credit card, looking worried about what it means. Mr. Henderson listens closely as Sarah explains the urgent situation. Sarah shows Mr. Henderson the mysterious card and asks if he recognizes the strange behavior. Mr. Henderson looks at his tablet to check the data associated with the card. Mr. Henderson shows Sarah the results on his screen to see what she thinks. Sarah examines the screen closely, wondering if the activity is related to wolfish behavior. A sudden, intense vision of a beastly power flashes through Sarah's mind. She pauses, confused and wondering if she was simply mistaken about what she saw. Sarah hands an envelope to Mr. Henderson, continuing their serious investigation. Mr. Henderson opens the envelope to reveal the content. Leo lies quietly in his hospital bed, staring blankly at the ceiling. He remains motionless as he recovers from his recent ordeal. A hospital meal tray sits nearby, full of simple food. Leo suddenly snaps to attention, focused entirely on the food. Someone approaches his room, their footsteps echoing in the hallway. Sarah bursts into the room, calling out to Leo to get his attention. She stands ready, looking for answers about the strange events. Leo ignores her, frantically shoving handfuls of food into his mouth. Sarah watches in shock, stunned by his sudden, animalistic behavior. She freezes in the doorway, unsure how to handle this bizarre scene. Leo is completely lost in his hunger, sweat dripping from his face. He continues to devour the rice with his bare hands, ignoring everything else. Sarah tries to get Leo's attention while he is busy writing. Leo keeps scribbling away, completely ignoring Sarah's presence. Sarah gets frustrated and calls out to him, trying to break his focus. Leo asks her what she wants, finally acknowledging she is there. He tells her that everything must be done in a specific order. Sarah pauses, trying to understand what he is talking about. Leo remembers an intense battle against fierce monsters from his past. He recalls fighting for his life against a pack of predators. Leo looks at Sarah with a serious and intense expression. He explains that his survival depended on following strict rules. Leo looks at her, waiting for his explanation to sink in. Sarah points to the document, insisting the instructions are clearly written there. Leo stares at the document in shock, his eyes wide with disbelief. Sarah holds out his official returnee identification card. Leo looks at the card, finally processing what it means for his identity. Sarah turns away to leave the room, ending their conversation. She speaks one final, firm sentence to Leo. Sarah grabs the doorknob to exit the room. The door clicks shut behind her, leaving Leo alone with his thoughts. Leo looks down at the papers, questioning the mention of his family. Deep sadness fills Leo as he remembers his past life in the wilderness. He recalls standing alone in the wild, surrounded by the beautiful sunset. Leo reflects on the pain of leaving behind his forest family. He remembers the 1,000 years he spent bonding with his animal companions. Leo stares at his returnee papers, realizing only 10 years have passed since he vanished. The short time frame shocks him, as he spent 1,000 years in the wilderness. His eyes widen as the weight of his long, lonely exile hits him hard. Driven by sudden urgency, Leo rushes out of the room to find answers. He bursts through the office door, startling the people waiting inside. Dr. Evans looks up, calm and collected, as Leo storms into his workspace. Dr. Evans asks Leo what is wrong, appearing completely unbothered by the intrusion. Leo stands there, tense and frustrated, while Sarah follows him into the room. Dr. Evans offers his help, trying to maintain a professional atmosphere for Leo. Leo ignores the pleasantries, demanding immediate information regarding his missing brother. Dr. Evans suggests that Leo stay put while they track down his brother's location. Leo grinds his teeth, struggling to contain his intense impatience and inner turmoil. Dr. Evans maintains a calm and slightly mysterious smile while talking to Leo. The doctor stares intently, keeping his composure despite Leo's intense pressure. Leo looks on, his eyes wide and filled with growing suspicion. Leo listens closely, waiting for any real answers about his brother. Leo finally decides to leave, hoping to get some space to think. Leo says a quick goodbye as he prepares to drive away. Dr. Evans watches Leo leave with a strange, knowing grin on his face. The taxi pulls away from the curb, leaving the doctor and Sarah behind. Sarah looks at the doctor, clearly unsettled by his odd behavior. The two walk away together while the doctor continues to chuckle to himself. Sarah keeps a watchful eye on Dr. Evans, clearly doubting his honesty. Dr. Evans keeps his mysterious smile, hiding his true intentions from everyone. Sarah looks at the door, clearly uneasy about the strange situation. Dr. Evans asks Sarah to get the broken door fixed immediately. The door handle looks distorted, almost as if it is melting away. Suddenly, someone slams the door shut with incredible, unnatural force. The metal of the handle creaks under the intense pressure of the grip. Dr. Evans sits at his desk, seemingly unfazed by the sudden noise. He remains calm while looking down at his desk in deep thought. Dr. Evans notes that this is the second time the handle has broken. He wonders about the return of an irregular, sensing something dangerous nearby. Meanwhile, Leo is stuck in heavy traffic while driving through the city. He suddenly brakes hard as a terrifying alert pops up on his screen. A monstrous creature appears on the display, signaling a new, deadly threat. A terrifying monster with massive jaws emerges to attack the city. The creature is revealed to be a powerful and dangerous threat. Military helicopters arrive and open fire on the beast immediately. Tanks join the battle, unleashing a heavy barrage of explosions. The military forces continue their desperate fight against the monster. An advertisement for a superhero fighting tournament suddenly takes over the screen. Leo and his driver are distracted by the loud, flashing commercial. The ad showcases an intense battle between two high-ranking heroes. Leo stares blankly, realizing the world has become completely chaotic. Dr. Evans remains focused, appearing unfazed by the global madness. A heroic figure in armor calls out for all hunters to rise. The Shilla Guild is officially hiring hunters for their new team. A car radio blares an advertisement for a major guild hiring new hunters. Leo looks annoyed at the casual tone of the broadcast. Leo asks the driver to explain what is happening right now. Mysterious portals have suddenly opened across the entire planet. Terrifying monsters emerged, causing chaos and mass destruction everywhere. The military fights back as 10% of the global population dies. Fighter jets launch missiles to strike the massive creatures. A powerful explosion rocks the battlefield against the monsters. Hunters fight the beasts to claim huge cash rewards. Leo questions how people get a hunter license in this world. The driver laughs and says it is hard for regular people. Leo remains silent as they continue their drive through the city. Leo looks around, trying to process the strange new world he has returned to. The sunset paints the city skyline in deep shades of purple and gold. A taxi drives through the quiet, hilly streets of a neighborhood. The taxi screeches to a sudden halt, signaling that Leo has arrived at his destination. The driver points toward a house, giving Leo final directions before he leaves. The driver bids Leo farewell, wishing him a good visit with his brother. A black bird flies overhead, its loud cry echoing through the empty street. Leo stands alone in front of a house, looking up at the structure. He takes a slow, steady step forward, approaching the entrance of the home. An older woman cleaning a window hears a noise and looks out, confused. Blank. True, the woman spots Leo outside and calls out, asking who is there. Leo arrives at the house and calls out to someone named Ethan. An older woman looks down from the window, watching him closely. Leo stares back at the woman, maintaining a serious expression. The woman clicks her tongue, clearly unhappy about his sudden arrival. Leo keeps his gaze fixed on her, waiting for a reaction. Suddenly, the woman begins yelling at him in a burst of anger. She slams the window shut, cutting off their conversation entirely. Leo stands outside, looking up at the now closed window. The window remains firmly shut against him. He wonders why she is acting so strangely about his visit. Leo suddenly looks alert, sensing that something is wrong. He begins walking away, his mind focused on what just happened. Leo pauses, feeling that something is clearly wrong with the situation. He notices a mailbox stuffed with letters right next to the door. Leo reaches out and pulls a piece of mail from the box. He inspects the envelope to see what it is. The letter is an urgent notice for a past due payment addressed to Ethan. Leo walks away from the house, thinking about the strange world he lives in. He reflects on how nature follows the law of the strongest. However, he finds the rules of modern society to be much more confusing. He realizes that everything in this city revolves around one thing. That one thing is money. Leo clenches his fist, determined to navigate this difficult world. He looks up at the towering, expensive city buildings ahead. Leo enters the government office to register as a professional hunter. The clerk bluntly tells Leo that his application has been denied. Leo is confused and explains that he is an F-rank returnee. The clerk notes that Leo still lacks the necessary points to qualify. Leo insists that he arrived through a portal just 2 weeks ago. The clerk laughs and says he would have been shredded to pieces. She mocks him for acting like a superhero and tells him to leave. She dismisses him coldly, suggesting he come back when he is actually prepared. Leo walks over to a bounty board to study how the system works. He stares at a poster offering a reward for hunting goblins. Leo wonders if these greenfield goblins are worth his time. Blank. True, Leo rides in a taxi toward the massive barrier surrounding the city. The driver explains that the barrier completely circles the city of Seoul. The driver notes the city is split into 12 districts with many gates. Leo realizes he needs to take action to prove his strength as a hunter. The taxi tires screech as the vehicle pulls to a sudden, sharp halt. They have arrived at the entrance of the greenfield, specifically gate 27. Leo steps out of the taxi and onto the pavement near the gate. He looks up at the towering, reinforced wall that marks the hunting zone. Leo asks for confirmation that the hunting field is located behind this gate. Leo walks confidently toward the security checkpoint to clear his entry. He approaches the heavily armed guard stationed at the entrance of the gate. Leo prepares to speak with the guard to gain access to the field. A vehicle suddenly crashes and flips over right in front of the gate. The guard orders his squad to move out immediately to deal with the threat. The soldiers take their positions and keep their weapons aimed at the wreckage. A massive, clawed hand bursts through the metal roof of the crushed vehicle. A terrifying monster climbs out of the twisted metal, growling at the soldiers. The soldiers prepare their rifles, ready to engage the dangerous creature. They open fire, raining bullets down on the beast to stop it. The monster lets out a final, pained shriek as the gunfire rips through it. The commanding officer shouts for everyone to cease fire. He signals his team to stop shooting as the threat is neutralized. The soldiers confirm the enemy is down and call for an ambulance. The guards look around, wondering about the person who arrived in that cab. A soldier looks around, wondering if the mysterious passenger has finally left. The area is empty, confirming that the stranger has indeed moved on. A young man named Leo walks through a ruined, desolate city street. Leo looks around, sensing the strange and dangerous atmosphere of this place. He hears familiar, terrifying monster noises echoing through the ruined buildings. Leo takes a firm step forward, ready to face the challenges ahead. He stands on a ledge, looking out over the dark and destroyed city. Leo is surprised to find himself in a place he recognizes so well. The sun sets over the broken skyline, casting long shadows across the ruins. Night falls quickly, blanketing the dangerous city in a familiar, cold darkness. Leo stares into the night, feeling right at home in this dark world. Leo lands on the hard ground of the ruined city. He remains calm as he prepares for the dangers ahead. With incredible power, Leo leaps high into the night sky. He hits the ground with a massive shockwave that shakes everything. Leo focuses his senses to track the monsters nearby. He crouches in the middle of the dark, destroyed streets. Leo places his hand on the floor to steady himself. He suddenly sprints forward at an unbelievable speed. The sound of wind rushes past him as he tears through the city. Leo launches himself into the air toward a tall building. He leaps across the gap between the dark, crumbling structures. Leo lands firmly and readies himself for the fight to come. Leo reaches the rooftop and pulls himself up to take a look around. He feels exhausted and wonders if he is losing his usual strength. Leo stands alone against the massive moon, scanning the dark, ruined city. He closes his eyes to focus and sniff the air for hidden danger. He turns his head, sensing that something is nearby in the shadows. Leo hears strange whimpering sounds coming from the streets down below. He quickly skids to a stop, ready to investigate the noisy area. Leo leaps toward the apartment complex to get a better view. His expression turns serious as he prepares for a potential fight. Sudden, violent sounds of a struggle echo through the night air. Leo walks toward the commotion, his eyes fixed on the unfolding scene. A white dog fights for its life against a group of aggressive goblins. A terrifying goblin glares at the white dog with hungry, glowing eyes. The brave white dog snarls back, ready to defend itself against the monsters. Suddenly, heavy footsteps echo through the ruins as someone approaches the scene. Leo arrives on the scene, his expression cold and focused on the threat. The goblins swarm together, screeching as they prepare to attack the dog. A goblin raises its sharp blade high, aiming a strike at the dog. Leo watches the scene unfold, a faint, dangerous smile appearing on his face. Leo declares that the monsters are now his prey to hunt down. Leo lunges forward and delivers a powerful, crushing punch to a goblin. Blood splatters everywhere as Leo's brutal strike takes the monster down instantly. The remaining goblins shriek in fear as they realize they are outmatched. A mysterious blue screen appears in the air, scanning Leo to identify his class. A system window suddenly pops up, showing that it is loading. Multiple error messages appear, claiming that Leo's class already exists. Leo stands in the middle of the chaos as a defeated goblin falls. Leo looks confused, wondering what is happening to his status screen. He realizes with shock that the system is experiencing a major error. Leo stares at the floating screens, completely baffled by the weird glitches. Frustrated by the constant interruptions, Leo shouts at the system to disappear. The error screens vanish into thin air with a quick, rushing sound. Leo turns his attention back to the remaining goblins surrounding him. One of the monsters lets out a high-pitched, terrifying screech. The goblin charges at Leo with its sharp teeth bared wide. Leo delivers a powerful, crushing blow that sends the monster flying. The ground shatters under the immense pressure of their fierce collision. Leo remains focused, ignoring the chaos as he prepares his next move. The monster is caught off balance by Leo's sudden, powerful counterattack. The creature roars in anger and lunges forward to strike back. With a burst of speed, the beast leaps high into the air. It slams down with terrifying force, trying to crush Leo beneath it. Leo stands his ground as the earth rumbles from the heavy impact. The monster attempts to grab him with its sharp, deadly claws. Leo coolly stares down the beast, refusing to show any fear at all. He deftly dodges the attack, sending the beast flying through the air. Leo watches from above as his enemy falls toward the hard ground. The monster crashes into the floor, defeated by Leo's superior combat skills. Leo stands over the defeated monster after his hard-fought victory. Suddenly, a system error message appears, warning that his stats failed to initialize. Another critical error pops up, claiming he failed to obtain his class skill. Leo remembers something important as he stares at the strange blue screen. The error messages continue to flicker across his vision, causing more confusion. Despite the errors, a notification confirms that his stamina has increased by 1. Leo watches as his interface begins to crackle and change appearance. A new window flashes open, announcing that the performance store is now available. Leo is stunned, as he has never seen this specific message before. He wonders if this strange shop is what people mean by awakening. The store menu shows his 7 available points and a few basic items. Leo is disappointed to see such limited options for his hard-earned points. Leo suddenly gains a bottle of water and bread from his new store. He hears strange, sad whimpering sounds coming from the dark alleyway nearby. He finds a badly injured wolf mother lying on the cold ground. Leo feeds a small piece of bread to the hungry wolf cub. Leo looks over the battlefield where he just defeated the monsters. He walks through the wreckage, surrounded by the bodies of his enemies. Leo pauses and takes a moment to collect his thoughts. The wind blows as Leo wonders what he should do next. The sun begins to rise over the ruined city skyline. Leo watches the morning light as a new day starts. He rests under a tree with the cub while the world wakes up. Leo decides it is finally time to leave and move forward. He approaches a busy checkpoint where guards are controlling traffic. A guard signals for a passing driver to keep their distance. Crowds of people watch in surprise as vehicles move through the area. A soldier at the checkpoint is completely shocked by the sight of Leo. Leo walks into the area carrying a massive, bloody pile of monster remains. The pile is made of terrifying, sharp-toothed monster parts dripping with fresh blood. The soldier stares in disbelief, his eyes wide and sweat dripping down his face. Leo calmly approaches a service desk to trade in his monster loot for cash. A clerk named Ari calculates the value of the items Leo brought in. Ari shows Leo a glowing red gem he recovered from the goblin hearts. She explains the high value of these rare monster drops to him. Leo receives a thick stack of cash for his hard work in the wild. Leo holds the money, looking surprised by how much he earned today. After finishing his business, Leo heads over to a local convenience store. An older store clerk greets Leo warmly, asking where he has been lately. Leo tells the clerk he finally found a job to earn some money. The friendly clerk hands Leo a chocolate bar as a small gift. Leo leaves the store in good spirits, clutching his snacks and supplies. Suddenly, a car speeds. A large truck pulls up quickly, blocking his path entirely. Leo turns around, sensing that something is definitely wrong here. A group of thugs suddenly ambushes Leo with a violent strike. Leo crashes to the ground as the men surround him aggressively. Their leader mocks Leo, making cruel jokes about his personal life. The gang continues to beat Leo while he is down. The leader taunts Leo by tapping his face with a weapon. The thug delivers another brutal blow, leaving Leo struggling to speak. The thug counts the cash Leo gave him, demanding even more for interest. He coldly calculates the debt, showing no mercy to the beaten man. The thug tells his group that the payment is clearly not enough. Leo trembles on the ground, his body bruised and shaking from the pain. Tears stream down Leo's face as he begs for just 3 more days. The brutal leader slams his weapon down, refusing to grant any more time. The thug raises his weapon again, preparing to deliver another painful strike. Suddenly, the thug pauses, looking down as if something caught his attention. A small, mysterious white puppy walks calmly toward the group of thugs. The leader stares down, confused by the strange little animal approaching them. Leo looks up in shock, wondering what is happening in the alleyway. A mysterious figure appears, his eyes glowing with a powerful, dangerous energy. Leo looks up in disbelief as he recognizes the mysterious man standing before him. If you want part 2 of this video, drop a comment, and at 1,000 likes I'll release part 2. Tell us in the comments how much you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe for part 2.